All right, everyone, welcome to another episode of The Urban Gardener. Today, we've got a special episode for you. We're going to get to do our very first collaboration right here in Sacramento at the Green Acres Nursery. We're about to go inside and meet Martine Brucheau. He is Organic's best urban gardener. Link below to his channel right now. Today, we're going to add something to our gardens. We're going to add a blood orange tree. Now, Martine Brucheau is exceptionally good at taking care of container citrus trees. So we're here to ask him to help us decide on what would be the best blood orange tree, how to take care of it in our gardens. So let's go inside and go find Martine right now and go see if we can get our blood orange tree going. All right, everyone, we're down here at Green Acres Nursery, and we're inside now. We get to meet Martine Brucheau. Martine, nice to meet you.
Pleased to meet you.
Thanks for joining me today here on The Urban Gardener, and today we're looking to get a blood orange tree for our garden, Martine. So I see that you've picked out a really nice one for us here in the background.
Yeah, this is a sanguinella blood orange, and this is a cousin of the typical blood oranges that are grown here in the California Valley, and that'll be a Moro blood orange.
Excellent, excellent. And so, Martine, I'm going to purchase this blood orange and I'm going to take it to my garden. So when I get it home, what is the very first thing I should look to do?
Now, it's very important that when you purchase your first blood orange tree, you want to make sure that you check the tree out, making sure there's no bugs or insects infested in the trunk of the tree. The next thing you want to look at, make sure it's a dwarf variety if that's what you're looking for. And you're going to find that out simply by the graft line right here.
All right.
And if there's any suckers growing off the graft line underneath it, then you want to go ahead and take those off. The next thing you want to do is make sure your leaves does not show any disease. Right. Other than that, you're free to go.
This one looks really nice. This looks like a really nice
tree here.
All right. So my next question, Martine, then, okay, so we've got that checked out. So potting this up, what kind of care should I do in taking this? When should I think about potting this up? Should I?
Now that's a good question, because I made the mistake in my earlier gardening days where I would leave them inside the container for quite some time. In fact, I didn't buy the smaller containers like this. I purchased the much larger 10-gallon containers. So they can, in fact, be left in a larger container for that long if they're that size. But remember this, these trees already come from a nursery, and they are more than likely root bound. And so you want to take them out of a container as soon as you get it home. A week at the most, you should leave it in this container. And you may want to do that to help it establish to its new environment from shade to sun. The other good thing about this is, make sure, guys and girls, you want to pot up, never down. So when you take this container, put it over inside your new container, and you're going to have about 2 to 3 inches on the side and 2 to 3 inches from the top. Go ahead and prepare your soil amendment, which we'll get into, and then pot your plant up.
Excellent, excellent. And so any sort of root care or anything I should do as I'm potting it up?
When it comes to your roots, citrus trees are hardy. They're very robust, and they can take a beating. I wouldn't worry about taking the soil from the roots. If you just want roots that go into the new soil amendment, that's perfectly fine. I tend to carry it over with the soil ball, the root ball that is already connected to the tree. Reason being, That's the environment it knows.
What should we think about as far as any sort of extra care or anything like that we should keep in mind?
Well, one of the things you want to make sure you do is these things grow very rapidly before your eyes. As we know, we get older fast. So does your tree. And I'll tell you something, every season, that'll be the growing season between spring and summer. Every spring you should be repotting your tree up to the next size until ultimately you have a 20 to 25 gallon container. Once you have it in that permanent home, every year thereafter, you want to take your tree out of that large pot and you want to take what I use as a sawzall. And I know that may sound funny, but a sawzall is quick, is easy, and you can get the long blade. And from the bottom of the root ball to about 2/3 the way up, you want to remove that many roots. Okay? Put some fresh soil back into that large container, put your tree back in there and backfill it with soil. And voila, you'll be just fine.
So now, how about going over some soil amendments? What would you recommend as far as a good fertilizer, amendments, that sort of care for the tree?
Now, when it comes to soil for these citrus plants, there's two different ways you can go. You can simply buy you a good high quality potting soil or planting mix. And when you buy that planting mix, remember, you want a soil that's gonna be porous, well draining. So how do we get that without leaching the water too much away from the tree, causing it to dry out sooner? There's a way you do that. I prefer to use vermiculite over perlite because of its sustainability and other benefits that it actually has to offer the tree. So vermiculite is a water retention. It's gonna hold water up to 3 times its body weight. The other thing I'm gonna think about is adding possibly some coco coir. That also is going to retain water and it's going to provide other benefits to the tree. Now, when it comes to drainage, what can you do with drainage? You can add you some pathway bark or some pumice rock for drainage. And that's exactly what I use. So that's all you need. Here's the key. Your fertilizer should be for acid-loving plants. I usually buy the azaleas mix for azaleas and rhododendrons. And what you want to, the reason why you want to buy this fertilizer, because citrus trees love to be on the low acidic side. So we're talking about a 4.5 to a 5.5, a 5.5 to about a 6. That's what you want. You don't want it to get too alkaline because that can affect the taste and the look of your fruit.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so any final pointers that we have for our tree?
I have my special mix, 65% potting soil, 35% pathway bark, and 5% coco coir. Voila. Add your Sure Start, a very, very mild organic fertilizer, and you guys are set here. When it comes to taking care of this tree, don't forget, once a month, 1 tablespoon of Epsom salt inside of a gallon of water and pour it in there. That'll keep your leaves nice and green. And once every 2 to 3 months, you want to use a chelated iron because it's going to restore the manganese and the iron and keep these guys healthy, keep the trunk strong. Do yourself a favor. If you're buying a tree of this size right here, do not, and I repeat, do not allow it to grow fruit. Pluck all the fruit and blooms off in the first year to 2 years possibly of your plant. I know you may not like that, but I'll tell you something right now. What's going to happen is this bottom base is going to thicken up 3 times its size. The roots are going to be vigorous, and you're going to have a tree that's going to have stronger branches and can hold a lot more fruit. Remember, 45 leaves per fruit. You want a lot more than that. So make sure the nitrogen is high in any of the fertilizers that you use. Water it on a drip irrigation system. If you're doing it by hand in the hot summer months, water it daily. If it's in the winter, water it once every 7 to 10 days.
Excellent, excellent information. Although I do actually have one more question.
Sure.
I am a zone above you or below you. I'm an 8 versus a 9. So in the wintertime, I might get a little bit colder or whatever. Any sort of special tricks or anything I might do to care for it during the winter, or should I just let it go?
Absolutely. In the wintertime, in Sacramento Valley out of here, that'll be the capital of California, we don't deal with a lot of frost at night. But if you're in an area where you deal with cold, below 30s, Well, you may damage your trees. Some citrus trees can actually take it, but this is what I do. You simply buy your frost blanket. They're white, they're inexpensive. You can get them from Lowe's, Home Depot, or at your local nursery. Cover it up, tie it at the bottom, and making sure no air gets under there. The other thing you can also do is do what I do. Christmas lights. I actually buy battery operated Christmas lights, and I put them around the tree, I put it on the timer, and guess what? You're done. The tree is fine.
Well, and you also got an extra tree in your yard for Christmas, right?
That's correct. I actually just purchased this strawberry guava, and why not add something new to the yard? Remember, you don't grow things you don't eat. Eat what you grow and grow what you eat.
Excellent point, Martine. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're out here at the nursery and getting us started with a blood orange tree. I hope all that information helps you guys out. I hope you guys add some new fruits or vegetables to your garden.
And with love from our hearts to yours.
The Urban Gardener.
And Organic's Best, Urban Gardener.
Excellent. Isn't that awesome, everyone? We got ourselves a blood orange tree for our urban garden. And it was so awesome of Martine Brucheau to come out here to Green Acres Nursery and help us pick out a blood orange tree for our urban garden. We'll also look to add more trees maybe for other fruits and stuff to our garden as well. We'll seek out some more help from Martine too. All right, everyone, that was an excellent trip to Sacramento, California, and thank you so much again to Martine for helping us out and picking up a citrus tree for our urban garden, and thanks to Green Acres Nursery for having us there. They have an excellent nursery. I can't wait to get back there and meet up with Martine Brucheau on some other citrus trees or other projects that we can work on here in the urban garden. But today, we are back home. We have got our citrus tree, our blood orange tree here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to do the very first thing that we need to do. It's been about a week, I would say, since we were down there. And we're going to pot this up. We need to pot it up. Like you said, we've picked out a pot. It's about a couple of inches deeper and a couple of inches wider. I've also got some acid-loving plant mix, as well as some citrus and fruit tree fertilizer that we're going to mix into that mix. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take this plant mix and we're going to mix it in with the fertilizer. We'll just use a 5-gallon bucket here, and then we'll get that ready. We'll apply maybe about a couple of inches to that in the bottom of the pot here, and then we'll move our tree over into a pot. We'll backfill in the rest of the soil, we'll water it in, and our blood orange tree will be ready to go here in the urban garden. All right, one of the things else we've done too is I've put together a mix, as Martine had suggested as well, of some bark and some vermiculite. I also put some cocoa coir in here. I did add a handful or so of some worm castings too to it as well. So we're going to apply this into our mix. And we're going to take about, I'd say, a cup and a half or so of this fertilizer here, to about the amount that we've got here, which is, let's say, out of a 5-gallon bucket, I've probably got about 3 gallons worth of mix in here. So it's about a cup and a half should do it there for that fertilizer. All right, we're going to mix this up really well. We'll start potting up this plant. All right, now we've mixed that very well here. Got ourselves a nice mix to pot up this citrus tree. Let's get our blood orange into its next pot. First thing I want to do here, as I said, all right, so we've set ourselves up a couple of inches here for the base of this to sit on. Let's pull out our tree. Take a look what root system we got here. You want to be real gentle with it. Help make sure that it's not so root bound it's stuck, but should pull out really nice there. Just as he said, you got some nice root system there. It's pretty bound up from being at the nursery. Just like Martine said, though, these are a very hardy tree, very hardy system. So, set that right in there, like so. Make sure it sits in nice and straight. And you've got your trunk nice and straight and center. Once you've got it to where you want it there, just as simple as backfilling the soil in. So we're just going to fill it in, spread it around, getting it into the sides there. There we go. That's going to be really nice. All right. That's going to be really nice there. Really nice. Another thing to remember when you're planting in your trees and whatnot is that, you don't want to bury that trunk up. You want to make sure that you're about as level as you were before. What you're trying to do here is actually grow the roots out and below. Where nothing going to be coming up on top, so don't fill up above your trunk, the base of your trunk, okay? All right, let's water this tree in and get it its place here in the garden. All right, so now we've got our blood orange citrus tree all potted up and ready to be put into the garden. It's been such a great collaboration with Martine Brucheau. First chance for us on the Urban Gardener to get out and do a collaboration of this sort, and it's been really great. It was really awesome to meet him. So like I said, hopefully we'll get back down to Sacramento real soon and do some more projects with Martine. He's an excellent person. I love his gardening style, love his videos. I really hope that you guys hit the link down below and go visit his channel. Go tell him hi from the Urban Gardener for me, and give him some thumbs up and whatnot. Give him a thumbs up on this video too for helping us out here in the Urban Garden. And I want to say thank you to you all for following along with me on this channel. It's been so much fun so far getting to do some of these great things that we're doing, as well as doing the projects we're doing here at home in our urban garden. Thank you for following along on this garden adventure. If you have any questions, comments, concerns at all, please hit me up in the comment section below. And again, thumbs up for Martine Brucheau, and hit the subscribe button. Follow along with more adventures here in the garden. See you next time on the Urban Gardener.
I like the fact that you got the
Excellent.
urban. That's why I wanted to say that.
Yeah.
It's urban gardener.
Excellent.
So people understand that that's what we specialize in.
Yep.
And more people would relate to us than someone who does these huge yards and whatnot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're all about small container gardening around here.
That's right.
Excellent.